Right, so this is something I've been meaning to do for a while. It's just for fun. Just a minute. Good. Okay, that's better. Is it? I think it is. I'm going to try and explain the film from start to finish from memory. I don't know if I mentioned before, but I got a bad hit on the head when I was a teenager, so my memory's not always what I would like it to be. But anyway, I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to do it with a film I've seen a lot, first of all, which is Alien. So, it starts out, and there's the crew are all in cryo sleep, cryo sleep, frozen, and the ship receives a message from somewhere. Ooh, spooky. And it wakes them up, and then they think they're back at the Earth to begin with, at the end of the journey, but they're not. And then they realise that the ship's received this mysterious message. So it's company policy; they have to go and check it out. Any kind of intelligent message received, it's stipulated in the contracts that they have to go and check it out, or they will forfeit all payment upon returning home. So they go to where the source of this message is coming from. It's a small planetoid, the land, and because the ship's a little bit of an older one or whatever, there's some malfunction, so the stuff that needs repairing. So the engineers go off and do that, and 3 members of the crew, which is Dallas, Lambert, and what's John Hurt's character called? Kane. It's called Kane. They go to find the source of this signal, and they find this derelict alien ship. And they go inside, and when they get inside, they find the pilot, and he looks like he's been fossilized to his chair. And on his chest, there's a hole when it looks like something's burst out. They don't know what it is, and then they find a burn mark on the floor that leads to a cavernous chamber underneath. So they set up a winch. Ken is lowered down, goes inside, and there's like a room, and it's full of these leathery egg-looking things. And he goes to investigate, and there's like a beam of light over the eggs. And if you break it, he puts his hand through it, and it makes a noise. So anyway, he gets down to like it's lowered down where the eggs are. So he jumps down, and he goes to look at one, and as he does, the egg starts pulsating. And then the top opens, and then all of a sudden, something jumps out and grabs his face like that. And it's called a face hugger. If you've not seen Aliens, it's like a little bit like it's like 2 hands actually. It's like sort of like, on if I can. It's like sort of that. And it's put a tube down his throat, and it's feeding him oxygen, and it's feeding him nutrients. We find this out. They take him back to the ship. At first, Ash, the science officer, who's never been out with his crew before, by the way, the Captain Dallas doesn't want to let them in, but Ash lets them in, who's this new science officer, and he scans Kane, and he says what I've just said. It's feeding him oxygen and nutrients, and something strange is going on, but he doesn't know what it is. Well, it's an alien, fair enough. Anyway, later on it dies and drops off him, and he comes round, and he wants something to eat, because it doesn't tell you really in the film, but I think the book it tells you is that he's unconscious for about a day, something like that. It seems quicker in the film. Anyway, so they go to have something to eat, and then he starts having some kind of a fit, and then that's where the chest burster comes out of his chest. It's like a infant alien bursts its way out of him. It's grown inside of him. Runs off. Obviously, he's dead. Then they're worrying about finding it. So Ash, the science officer, builds a motion tracker, and I think it's Brett and Parker are the engineers. They build flamethrowers. So they go off looking for it, and they've got a cat called Jonesy. He gets away, so they have to find the cat. And as Brett's about to get the cat, the alien gets him, and it's much bigger now. It's like 7 or 8 feet tall. It's grown in a short amount of time. So it drags him off, nobody knows where. And then the next thing that happens is they try to find it in there's vents, and they want to go inside and flush it out and try and drive it into an airlock and blast it off into outer space, out the airlock. So Dallas goes down, and then there's all these scenes of him, like 10 scenes of him in the pipes looking for it. But unfortunately, it manages to get hold of him and drags him off as well. Then after that, what happens? Then Ripley then is next in command. She wouldn't let them on the ship, by the way, I forgot that. And she had some conflict with Ash, so they've already established that she doesn't like Ash and she doesn't trust him. So anyway, she goes off to the computer, the main hub, mother the ship's computer's called, and she finds out that there's a special order 937, I think it is. Damn, I think it is. I should know this. I've seen it enough times. It's something like that anyway. And she says, "What is special order 937?" And it's like, it's basically get the alien. All other considerations secondary. And that's when she finds out that Ash is an android because he attacks her, and he's strangling her. And Parker comes in and he bangs him on the head with something heavy, and he manages to knock his head off. Then they knock him out, they break him, but then they bring him back to life. Well, not to life. They turn him back on again with whatever batteries or whatever, but like because his head's off. They attach him to this like battery thing and then bring him back, and then he's telling him. They ask him what's the alien, and he tells them what he knows, which isn't a lot, but more or less it's the perfect organism and they don't have a chance. So they burn him, and then they decide they're going to get onto the lifeboat, which is called the Narcissus. The main ship is called the Nostromo. I don't know if I mentioned that, but anyway, the escape pod is called the Narcissus. There's only one cryo chamber in there, but they decide they're going to take the chances because they can't really do much either on the ship, trapped on the ship with it. So Lambert and Parker go down to get whatever they need. Ripley's turns on the self-destruct thing for the ship to blow it up to kill the alien. While she's doing that, Lambert and Parker, it is. Did I say Brett a minute ago? Lambert and Parker, anyway, get attacked by the alien and they're both killed. Ripley more or less just walks in as it's going. And then she doesn't, I don't know, she's like she changes her mind. She wants to stay on the ship for some reason. So she runs back up to try and turn off the self-destruct thing for the ship, but it's too late. So then she has to get to the lifeboat, which she does, with the cat, by the way. She gets Jonesy. She gets onto the lifeboat and then goes off, and you see it's like a big oil refinery in space, and it blows up. And she thinks she's got it, and then she's getting undressed to get into the cryo sleep, and then it comes out of nowhere. It's been hiding in the pipes. So she goes into this cupboard thing. She puts a spare suit on. She does something with the cat. I think she put him in the cryo sleep chamber already. So don't worry about the cat, if you are. And then it's like it's going to sleep or something, or it's dying. It's not really clear. But she puts this spare suit on, and then she goes to the console. She sits down and she starts pressing all these buttons, and then it starts firing hot steam at the alien, so it gets out and it's coming up behind her. And just before it gets to her, she pushes the thing and it opens the pod door into space, and it gets sucked out, and she's got this grapple gun thing that she shoots it with because it's holding onto the door. That's how strong it is. The vacuum of space isn't even enough. So she shoots it with this grappling gun thing that goes through its chest, and then that's it. It goes out into space, and then she pulls something, and it goes into the thrusters on the ship, and she turns on the thrusters, and it gets burnt to nothing. And then she gets on the thing. She leaves the recording. This is Ripley, last survivor of the Nostromo, signing off, and she gets into hypersleep, and then she goes to sleep. And then I might do Aliens next, but that's briefly my description of Alien from memory. So let me know what you think. I didn't remember everything, but I wanted to keep it under 10 minutes, which I more or less have done. So if you liked that video, please like and subscribe and share if you want. I don't see why you want to share it really, but if you would like, that would be great. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye.